Okay, we are up to Mishnah Perkei, Mishnah. Says the Mishnah, Hey Omu Shloisha Dvarim. So we just got finished with two Mishnahs discussing Rabbi Yonah and Zakai's 5 Talmidim, and now the Mishnahs are going to bring nameless from each Talmud. So Rabbi Eliezer is the first one, but all of them said 3 things. Hey Omu Shloisha Dvarim. So the Rabbi Yonah explains what does it mean they said 3 things. These Talmidim only said 3 things their entire lives. Pirush Zakir Ben Yonah Talmidim Rabbi Yonah ben Zakai. Lo Shloisha Dvarim L'Vadam. They didn't just say 3 things. He kama v'kama Dvarim Amru. They said many things throughout their lives, obviously, but there are 3 things they said every day, because these 3 things need chizuk. These are things that go keneged the teva, against our nature, and therefore a person has to always be mechazik to remind himself to try to fulfill these 3 things. Like it says, the Gemara Bracha says, by number of Amaroim, Margalisa b'pume derav b'dvar matzrichim tamid. There's a jewel in this Amara's mouth who would say something again and again. It was Dvar Matzrichim Chizuk. Rabbi Eliezer used to say 3 things every single day. Number 1, He chvoid chaverecha chava lecha kishalcha. The covenant of your friend should be as dear to you as your own covenant. A person has to be mechabed another as at least as much as he himself wants to have covenant. We spoke yesterday about when you find fault in someone, you have to turn that glance to yourself, in it yourself. When it comes to covenant, it's fakert. When it comes to honoring someone, the honor I want to have for myself, I should turn outward. Certain things you turn into yourself. When it comes to chesronis, lackings, when it comes to covenant, you turn the glance at your friend and try to mechabed him. Number 2, v'alti noyach lichois. The person should not become easily angered. We'll see again, kas. It seems like from Perkei, from Rabbeinu, at least the Perkei Avos, kas is the worst meat. Of all the meats, that's the worst one. A person should be noyach lichos. V'shuv yom echad lifnei misasach. A person should be chayz b'tshuva the day before he dies. Now, how does one know the day he's going to die? Okay, so then that's exactly the point. So a person is doing tshuva every single day. Tshuva is not an elul dikazach. Not something you only do in elul. Shari tshuva ben Yonah is not elul. It's all year round. That's the 3 things that he used to say. The Mishnah continues. A person should warm himself by the furnace of the fire of the Chacham, of the Talmidei Chachamim, but havizar b'kachaltam. One should be careful of the gachelas of the coal. Shloi sichve, you shouldn't get burnt. In other words, a Talmid Chacham is like a fire, so a tremendous hana a person can get from the Talmid Chacham. One gets too close to the fire, he gets burnt. Shenishichasan, the gears that we have is the shichas shual. Their bite is the bite of a fox. Va'akitzas and akitzas akrav, and the sting is the sting of a scorpion. And the bite is a bite of a snake. And everything they say are like the chalam of Eish, like coals of fire. Okay, so there's 2 parts of the Mishnah. 3 things that Rabbi Eliezer said, and then that statement at the end had to interact with the Talmid Chacham. So we'll start with the first part. So he said, your friend's covenant should be as dear to you as your own covenant. Zok Rabbeinu, hilchos derech eretz shanu kan. This is for derech eretz. A person should have the same desire that his friend be honored as much as he himself be honored. That's derech mus, that's proper etiquette. One should not be easily angered. Yadua, it's known. Anger is very bad. But the nature of people, not by default, a person is wired to become angry. It's the way we are. And you can add to that equation that it's also a person has to get angry sometimes. So I'm predisposed to anger, which makes it very difficult to overcome that. And secondly, sometimes I have to get angry. I have to be careful not to become noyach lichos, because I have a propensity to be angry. Sometimes I actually should at least show anger. Be very careful I don't become easily angered. And let's say I decide that whatever this person said is a reason for me to get angry. I have to use my intellectual scale in my mind to weigh and make sure that it's really something that deserves getting angry at. If you have one excuse, if you have one reason not to get angry, Bat lehu, says Rabbeinu, don't get angry. So someone did something to me, and therefore I think I should get angry. If I have one slight svara to say I shouldn't get angry, so I shouldn't get angry. I shouldn't say anything. I was in a meeting within the past month, we'll say. I was in a meeting, and a lot of people there, and someone said something totally off, like mamish insulting to someone else sitting there. He meant it, he didn't mean it, it's in front of many people, and he said he could have gotten his point across without saying it the way he said it. He said it in a very, derogatory way. So everyone there was like, so I was thinking to myself, I'm going to say something to him. It wasn't directed at me, it was directed to someone else. So I'm not going to gay a bedover, so I'm going to say something to him. But I have this policy that I never say anything b'shas ma'isa. Because I've seen too many times that b'shas ma'isa I'm like very upset, and then after a while I know it's not worth it anymore. Right? So I told myself it's in 2 weeks, it's right for Rosh Hashanah, in 2 weeks, I'm going to go over to this person, I'm going to say something to him. Right? Someone else came over to me and said, I can't believe the guy said that, I said, listen, I'll wait 2 weeks. Wait 2 weeks, wait 2 weeks. So I decided like a week later that it's not worth it. Why? I'm not going to change this person's mahalach, right? I wasn't totally surprised he said it like this. It's a certain nature a person has, and little me is not going to change big him and his perspective, his nature. If anything, I'll get into like a bit of a discussion with him about it, and he'll feel bad and I'll feel bad, and I'm going to affect our relationship negatively, which it's important to have a good relationship with people. So there's no point, again, when someone does something wrong, right, and you want to correct them, so there's two motivations. One is that it bothers me that you did that. Secondly, I feel for you, and I want to help you because you look really foolish, so I want to make sure it doesn't happen again for your sake, or for society's sake, the Kehilah's sake. But the second thing wasn't going to happen in this one. For sure, this person is not going to, it wasn't someone from this Kehillah. For sure, the person is not going to be makabel from me. And vice versa, I was doing it only because of my own anger. That's what the Rabbeinu is talking about here. Because I'm angry, I want to say something, but I shouldn't be angry. I should feel bad for him. He's making himself look foolish, and it's going to hurt his institutions. And therefore, I should say something to him. But I realize he's not going to makabel from me, so there's no point. But I think it's a great rule, which I recommend for everyone, 2 weeks. Or if it's too long, 1 week. 3 days be the end. Don't say anything. Even with the wife. 3 days. By then, it's just pushing not worth it. B'shas ma'isa, how could you do that? Wait 3 days, and then it's not worth it anymore. It's not a big deal. Or you forget about it. Often I'll forget about it. There was something I wanted to say, and I forgot what it was. Okay, so if I forgot after 72 hours, obviously it's not that important. But kas is this thing that a person will do and say things that if you calm down, I can't believe I would have said that. Imagine if during this meeting I would have said something to this person. Like a public zach. And now I'm saying it's not worth it even afterwards to call him up and tell him, Rabbi, I think even I'm passing now, I shouldn't do that. Kas is this thing that makes a person act in ways he otherwise would never act. Never trust yourself b'shas ma'isa. For the 24 hours for sure. You have to be an Ein ben Yonah. You have to wait 24 hours at least. Never trust oneself b'shas ma'isa. There's no way a person can be objective when he's angry. When his covenant is on the line, or when someone else's covenant is on the line. Always got to wait. 2 weeks is I think is great. Okay, so that's Alti Noyach Lichos. I'm sorry, so the Rabbeinu continues with Alti Noyach Lichos, and he says, Al Tevahel Kotzapaskin Kahelis. Al Teval Berucha Chol Lichos. Don't be quick to show your anger. Because anger resides in the lap of a fool. A person who gets angry easily is foolish, says Shloimeh HaMelech. Anyone who gets angry easily is a fool. Rotzelar means to say, says Rabbeinu Yonah, your person should not be quick to get angry, he should wait, and only if there's a big need. A person looks foolish, right? We know a person looks foolish when he gets angry. His person is not in control. Why is he foolish? He's not in control of himself when he's angry. That's what Rabbeinu Yonah says. And when one has to get angry, one should always try to minimize the blow as much as he can. As the Gemara in Eruvin says, there are 3 ways a person is nicker: b'koisoi, b'kisoi, v'kasoi. With his drink, how does he act when he's drunk? B'kisoi, with his pocket, is he an ayin toiv? B'kasoi, when he gets angry. That's how you can tell the real person when he walks in and he's all he's showing his best, putting his best foot forward. So then you can't really tell who the person is. Let the person get angry a little bit and see how it goes. Person's on a date, he's in shidduchim, maybe you should spill something on the other person. See how they see what they do. I'm not saying that to myself. Just one list. Maybe it's a good idea to see how.
The new test.
It's a new test. Still like the orange juice. Okay, and Shuviyam Echel if they misascha zog the Yonah. No one knows when they're going to die. Turns out a person every day is being chayz b'tshuva because another person in Koheles. V'chol eis yiyu b'gadecha levanim. Every second, every moment, one's clothing should be white, should be clean, and therefore a person should always be doing that. So these are the three things that Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkin has said that the dvarim hatzrichim l'chol adam tada. These are three things that a person always has to remind himself of. My friend's covet is as chaviv to me as my own. Not to get angered easily and to do tshuva every day. Second half of the Mishnah, one should be careful with Talmidei Chachamim. It's a very dangerous, delicate balance. So he gives the mashal of a person who's warming himself by the fire. If he stands too far away, doesn't get hana. He has to come closer to get the hana. If he comes too close, so then he gets burnt. A person always has to approach the Talmud Chacham with Eimei Yira and Koivin Rosh, with a certain fear, a certain seriousness. And it could be, after a while, one hangs out, so to speak, with his Rebbe, and borders can become down, and a person can go a little bit too far, and therefore it's always one has to be careful to make sure he doesn't breach that border, doesn't go too far. Neshichas nachash is the Rabbeinu Yonah's girsa, va'akitzas and akitzas akra, with the sting of a scorpion. V'shematal al daitcha. Shati yachal lefatois, and I can get a bit closer to this Talmud Chacham. In a davrikain, it's like a snake's venom that you're not paying attention for 1 second, and it comes out and it bites the person. All the words are like coals of fire. You should not disagree with them and then say, I also have knowledge, I also know, I can learn Torah. I'll make svaras like he's making svaras. Mike, I also have my own svaras. But the person doesn't have chachma, and he might make a mistake in his svaras. Understand the chachamim, what they say is coming after a lot of thought. It looks like I can copy them also. One has to realize he can't. A Talmud in Brisk once came to Rabbi Yeshua's elevation, and he was going to ask a kasha. So first he said, the Rosh Yeshiva said this, right? And then he was going to ask a kasha on that. So Rabbi Yeshua stopped him right away and said, I didn't say it like that. I said it like this. And it was like a very slight nuance difference. Like almost like didn't make a difference how slightly off it was. So Talmud said, what he was exasperated. He said, come to ask a kasha. He said over the Rosh Yeshiva's shtickle quickly, and then now he's getting stopped. What does make a difference? My nafkamina. So Rabbi Yeshua showed him three nafkaminas. Between three differences between the way the Talmud said it and the way he understood it. So the person thinks, the Rebbe said it like this, and I'll say it over quickly. You have to realize there's a lot of thought that goes into what the Rebbe says. Okay, so Mishnah Yud Aleph, a short one. Rabbi Yeshua says, Ayin hara, an evil eye, the Yetzer hara, the sinas habrius, hating people, which we discussed yesterday in Shalashus, the Meshech Chachma, moitzinas adam min ha'olam. These three things remove a person from the world. Says the Rabbeinu Yonah, what's ayin hara? Pirush. And he says an amazing chiddush here, an amazing chiddush. Misha eina semech bechelko, a person who's not happy with his lot. Obviously, whatever I have is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants me to have. V'oyin es chaver, this person's not happy, and he's looking at his friend who's wealthier than he is. V'goyim ra la'atzma l'chaver. By doing so, he causes evil to himself, and by being choymed, by coveting his friend's possessions, he causes evil to his friend. Kasher amru chachmei hateva. Like the scientists say, Zok Rabbeinu Yonah, hachoymer mikol asher l're'eyu, hachoymed mikol asher l're'eyu, avir oilam min hamachshava hahi, avir, some sort of ruach, an air, a wind, something, comes out of that thought. Meaning my thoughts don't stay within my head. My thoughts have to create a reality. Something comes out of my thoughts, v'soyrif es hadvarim she'iyein bahen be'einu hara, and it burns those things that I'm thinking about. Now, that's not literal, not meant to be taken literally that a mamash would be a fire in a person's car, but on some level, my thoughts that I want that could have a negative effect on that person's possessions. That's number one, how it affects him negatively. Number two, gam kirbo yisarif, so too inside my innards will burn. After I want something, it's not mine. It's mekalkel a person's guf, it's makatzer is ruach, it's moitzi min ha'olim, and it causes physical damage to the person who covets. V'zeu ayin hara shom Rabbi Yeshua. This is the ayin hara. A person has to mechazik himself, and this is what he said every day. One has to mechazik himself that whatever I have is exactly what HaKadosh Baruch Hu deems is necessary for me. As the Chavis of Avos says many times throughout Shar B'Tachin, that otherwise, to think otherwise is kfirah. As long as I'm doing my hishtadlus, so whatever I have is punkt exactly what I need. To think that I need something else is kfirah. And Yetzer Hara and Sinas Abriya, says Rabbeinu Yonah, is the obvious, these things are kimashman. Obviously these things that will affect a person very negatively, and then moitzi a person min ha'ilim. We'll hold here.